somehow I was eager to test this. There you go. Okay. I know you see me. I'm not 100% done, that's for sure. I have to check. Whoa. Empty room, isn't it? It's an empty room. You could say I did this on purpose. And now I'm going to search the sea. I'm almost ready. I mean, this looks kind of empty, right? I was thinking of putting stuff in because the reverberator. The reverberator. The reverberator. I've got the reverberator in my hand. In my hand. In my hand. I'm coming! Oh my god. There's nothing happening. The thing is, this thing is recording like crazy. I don't know if I like this with the echo. I think that's just how it is right now. Alright. Today is another one of those days. I think you've seen me long enough now. Yeah, I like this. So I don't like this. Let's just leave it like this. Okay, I'm a bit nervous today. I feel like I want to fiddle around or something. Like not fiddle, but I think I have to put on headphones. Oh yes, I think that's better. Oh, I did that yesterday already. Scheiße. Or with the last recording, I think. Just because I got so annoyed by the sound of this laptop. Like I'm really on edge at the moment. I mean, really. And sometimes it just pisses me off. All the time I'm getting these spam emails on my work email account. And it's especially frustrating because of course that's not what I want, right? Okay, this picture I've already edited. Wait, I have to do this. Oh no, now I have to do this. Because it's different camera. So you know this picture already. Maybe I should do something. I think in this picture I don't want it like that. So you take this one down. And then you just put this one. I mean, today I actually didn't think I was doing this. But usually when I do my cleaning sessions, it just happens completely spontaneously. And yeah, I didn't think I was gonna do it until I did it. And it was just a feeling when I woke up and I thought, oh, let's just drink a coffee, you know, like every other day. And then I realized, actually, no, today I don't want to do that. Not at least right now. Because right now I'm still drinking a coffee. And it has to do with the same thing that I said to you earlier. This feeling like if change is happening too fast, I don't trust it anymore. Especially not if it's coming from me. That's where I am at this kind of point. Because right now it just would seem too good, right? Because what happened today? I made that decision to clean everything. Now I could say, oh, you know, why bring in dark energies, you know? And then I would hate everything that's kind of negative. So coffee sometimes brings me in a different mood, but at the same time it helps me work. So now I could demonize coffee. And today I say, you know, that's not for me anymore. And I will fall flat on my face once more. I know it now and I recognize the symptoms, and therefore, like, it would be a bit stupid to keep trying that. So I don't try that anymore, or at least not really. Whereas I am, of course. Like something is in me is trying this. To push away all these things that I find kind of unwanted in myself. I try to push them out all the time. And that's probably my desire to drink coffee is probably one of them. And see, I didn't really do a lot of adjustments right now. So there's one more to go. I took that yesterday because I realized I was one image short. That's what my feeling said. And so today I wake up and I feel like, shit, like how could I live in this room and work in here for such a long time? Because it literally felt like hell. That's how it felt like. And so I started to formulate a decision in my mind. Okay, I have to clean everything. That's why this room is like this now. I put everything outside, it's still standing outside. And I decided to keep it that way for the video. And that's the thing, right? I don't really know what you see or what you pick up from how the vibe is in here. But right now the vibe is much better. Only I also realized something else, which is within, I don't feel it yet. Like, I feel it, but also I don't feel it. Like just now I caught myself thinking of that young woman from Cologne again. And somehow something in me was longing for her, and I tried to see something of her on the internet, and that's just basically torture. It's torture. I'm torturing myself. Yeah, I know the word sounds kind of funny, but what can I do about it right now? So everything that I can do about maybe missing her or having the feeling that I've lost her, to just let it go. And that doesn't mean necessarily always, you let the person go, but you just let go, holding on to the feeling. I feel miserable. I miss her. You can let go of that. You can still miss her, but maybe she's just a part of you. And that's why yesterday, for example, I never understood why people would take their phones with them. And yesterday something happened and I said, I knew this video would be like this, by the way, because there's a lot of stuff in me and I just want to say it. So what happened, I had that phone with me and I realized, there was a voice saying, take me with you. I thought, what the fuck is that supposed to be? But while I had the phone with me, I had the feeling I had her with me, and that's kind of strange because I know the phone is not her, but like, you know what I mean, don't you? So I was thinking about, how is it going to be when I'm a family man, right? When I have my wife, children, something like that. Shit, the colors are... It's just like that. So I was just thinking about it. And I realized, well, isn't it nice if my wife can reach me at any time? So if I'm just by myself, of course, I don't need that. I mean, why would anybody have to reach me? But, I mean, my wife, come on. She should be able to reach me at any time. When she wants me, you know, I should be there. And I think that's what doesn't really work in a lot of relationships, because you're not really devoted to each other. You just want to do what you want to do. And then you expect your wife to stay away from you at all times, but maybe I just never understood this. I don't think I ever understood love. That you just want to be with each other. Like really, really want to be. I never got that, because for me love was something that just basically means pushing each other away. For me love is something like now different than what it used to be. And that's also because I worked on it. Shit. But I also worked on, you know, giving love to myself. And that's important. Because look at this, right? I drew this and I said, this is how I feel. I feel like attacking everyone. I feel like an ugly piece of shit. That still wants love though. Even this ugly piece of shit still wants to be loved. And that's something which is quite important to remember. That, you know, whoever you are and however you see yourself, and just because people tell you you're pretty doesn't mean you feel pretty. And you know, pretty comes from the inside. And if you feel shit on the inside, you know, then you feel ugly, no matter how you look on the outside. And if you are really pretty on the outside, but you're really shit on the inside, and that's for me, personality was always quite important, more important than how somebody looks, is who they are. And that's why, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm sexy, right? Maybe I have a really awesome butt, and maybe my beard is really, you know, nice or something, right? And maybe I have really stunning blue eyes, and maybe I have a six-pack if I don't eat too much sugar, and maybe I have all of these things, and yet people sometimes didn't get tired of telling me that. But maybe they just should have told it themselves, because often we tell other people that they're pretty because actually we want to be told that too, so we tell it to others. And that's then also when this angry vulture or this bird, right? It's like, you know, it's like attacking. But why is it attacking? Because it wants something. And no matter how ugly this bird feels, you know, it still wants to be loved no matter what. Shit. Let's try something else. Shit. See, I'm not really... This is going to be a strange session. Because in me there's like all kinds of stuff going on. So, several things happened this morning, and that's just you being sometimes hammered with information, and you know, you have to make decisions like really quick. And that's why I made this decision to clean. I made it really quick. And then you just do it, right? And then you go through with it. That's important. You make a decision, you say, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna do it, and then you just do it. And you just do it, and you do it, and you continue to do it until you're done. And that's important. Like, this is really important. When you set yourself a goal, you continue to work towards reaching it until you have finished. And that's why until I am the person that I set out to be, or the person that I set out to find, which is my true self, like who am I really? Until I feel like this is it, I have a lot of stuff to do. I have to work, and I have to keep promises, and I have to do all kinds of stuff. And I continue to do so until I've reached my goal, which is the Love Our Children Foundation. And that's the foundation that I need to found, because nobody does that. If I don't do it, it probably won't happen. So I take responsibility for the vision that I've been given. Because we only get visions, and it's an option, right? So you can do this because, you know, you believe in yourself. The universe believes in yourself. God believes in yourself. In yourself, right? The person you are in this life anyway. So what do? You accept it or you don't. And if you don't accept it, you're gonna fucking suffer until you will, right? Because there's a part in you that has received it and you have to push through. And there was this time when I was laying in that bed and I felt miserable and I had these suicidal thoughts. And a voice, you know, I was listening to that song, Another One Bites the Dust. Dum, dum, dum. Another one bites the dust. Woo! Right? Something like that. And what happened? I was thinking of myself, holy shit, that's me. I'm the other one that bites the dust because, like, I'm giving up on myself. And that's why today, yes, there's a lot of stuff that feels really hard. Like, I still miss that woman where I think to know and where I want to believe and I want to trust and hope that she is my wife and that this voice saying in me, right, you know, that she will be faithful to me, that I don't just make that up. And then I realize once more, when I live in this room and it's really dirty, there are other kinds of beings with me in here. And they like to keep it in a state that is dirty. They love it. They thrive on it. They grovel in the mud. They're like, right? So think of hell. It's like filthy. It's like sin. It's like, you know, dirt and mud and like shit and like, you know, fucking animals and stuff like this. This is hell. Oh, there. This is hell. You know, I'm still thinking the camera's there. Maybe I can add a second one, right? And then, woo, boop, 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 you get an all-round view of Mr. Christopher. So, this is literally hell then. And every time I manage to work myself out of it, like right now, I start to forget that I just came out of it. And then I think, I'm in heaven now, I'm in heaven now, I am in heaven. And if you do that, then you're really like, you know, and then you walk, I'm in heaven now, I'm in heaven now. And then, you know, that slippery pile of shit. And you just flat on your back and suddenly you're in hell again. You're like, fucking hell. But the thing is, you slip and you land in hell, you don't remember. The only time you're going to remember is when you are in heaven again. And then you suddenly look down and you think, holy shit, that's where I just came from. And now, something has changed in me though. Because, first of all, we don't talk about the hell and the heaven. No, it's your own personal hell and basically your own personal heaven. So any place where I am, any situation can be hell or heaven, or both at the same time. We create heaven and we create hell, depending on like where are we, also what do we feel right now, are we fighting our position in life, or do we live in a state of acceptance? And that means, accept how it is. You still have hopes and wishes, but if you hold on to them too long, this is going to be a bit like wiggly, but who the fuck cares? So if you say, I want these things now, right? It's already your first step to hell. It's already your first step to hell, because that's just how it is. And that's why for me right now, you could say I just worked myself out of hell, but I can still feel it. It's still there somewhere. And it's going to continue to be there until, and that's what I believe, whether I'm mistaken or not, right now doesn't really matter, probably until I will be together with the woman that I love. And until then, whatever evil fucker is around here in myself, telling me all these shitty things, and wants that I suffer, he's going to continue to tell me these really awful things like, she's fucking other man, and right, and all these kind of things. And now it's my job to learn to not listen to that anymore. And that's just a really tough one. It's a really tough one because it's basically everything you're afraid of. And that's then what hell is. It's just the stuff that you fear. It's not. Oh shit, I'm losing the battery. Wait a second. Right now there's no option for batteries, so I just take one that doesn't need them. Which is also why I use this kind of speaker. Oh shit. And of course this is like a really old one. This is going to be a challenge. Scheiße. Okay, wait. Okay, I jumped over my shadow and I just asked my father. And while for most people this might be like an easy thing to do, for me it's not at all. And that's just the kind of mentality that the more you create your own personal hell, the more this kind of hell will also manifest on the outside. So yeah, I know drinking too much coffee and stuff is feeding my demon. And so right now you could of course say, well, why do you drink it then? Because it's just like that, you know. I don't go from demon to angel in one day. Plus, I don't see why I have to be afraid of them anymore. And that's then of course the other part, that often we are really afraid of all this darkness, and we are really afraid of ghosts, for instance. But the thing is, I have had my dealings with them. They come to me in dreams. You could say I'm like a medium then. They come to me in dreams. They sometimes send me thoughts, this room, why I was unable to live in here is because if you live in dark, kind of dirty energies, then other kind of things come and they loom over you and they tell you all these things. And at one point you think that's you, but it's actually not. And I think what I now did, what my test was, to live in this dirty room and just accept it and to just be fine anyway. Because I need to learn to trust myself. And if I always think, all these evil thoughts, it's me, and I lose myself in them, well then I become them, and then I become my own personal hell. But I want to create my own personal heaven, and that's of course then the challenge. And yeah, then to me it is hard to say no to my father, because I have my own things to do and he expects all this kind of stuff from me, and all I'm trying to do is to work myself out of this, because this place for me is a part of my hell. It's a part of my hell because that's just how it is. And that's why my entire childhood to me is like a dark spot. I don't remember anything lightful in my childhood. And that's just something really sad to say. But the first time I started to see more light was when I went to these ayahuasca ceremonies. You could say before that I was in a constant state of depression. And from one perspective, I can absolutely say that I was possessed by some kind of dark spirit. And these things exist. And it's your job to fight them, to fight these kind of evil thoughts. And that's also a part of spirituality, and that's why spirituality can be really scary. And that's why you have to start dealing with that and to acknowledge, okay, spirituality isn't just light, it's also darkness. And it's the path, basically, to look into your own darkness and to transform it into light, bit by bit. So you don't come light just in one day. Psychedelics, of course, show you, this is how it could be. And then you think, oh, I need psychedelics to feel like that. No, you need to put in hard work now. You need to really make an effort. You need to push through. You need to fight. Because the only thing that's going to get you out of your hell is work. Like honest work. And that's why I recommend to you watch Spirited Away and reflect on it, on the topic of hard and honest work, and what that will mean for you. Like, you know, it doesn't mean you have to like scrub floors or something, but you have to start somewhere. And that means take a look at the state of affairs. Look at, okay, who are you? Where are you telling yourself that you are? And where are you actually? Because often we think, you know, people in spiritual things, they think they're really far. Well, usually they're not. They're actually really far behind, you know? And it just takes one person to come along and show you, shit, I mean, he's actually much further than I am. And then you realize, you know, you put into place. And I think that's what sometimes people have when they meet me. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out. All I'm saying is I'm very determined and I work harder than most people in spiritual terms. Like some people, they just start slacking off and they just, you know, they just want the good stuff. So they just want to do ayahuasca instead of learning from it, right? They just want to keep doing psychedelics and they're doing this for years and they never just say, okay, wait, how can I get there without it? And that was always my goal, and yeah, somehow I'm failing because I still drink coffee, but like coffee is more like, I don't know, figure it out for yourself. So from my perspective, to me, coffee helped me get into that working mindset. But also yesterday, the message that I received was, watch the movie, go to bed. Don't work anymore, because work can be addictive too. And that's what I've realized, because I can be greedy with work because I want things, right? I want sex, I want women, I want money, I want a lot of stuff that I don't have. Then suddenly I become greedy because of the things that are kind of promised to me, right? That, oh, that's what I'm gonna get? Oh, you know? Then you never have enough. But maybe I've already done enough, right? And that's just hard to figure out. You know, when have you done enough? I don't have the feeling I've done enough. That's also a mindset that coffee creates in you, that you haven't done enough. And that's why, you know, using coffee, hey, what's this? Using coffee, you know, it's okay. What the fuck? It's alright, you can do it. Oh shit, what is this? That's funny. You know, when you think it's and then suddenly it keeps happening. So maybe it wasn't the battery. And that's what it is, for example. You know, demonizing stuff. You think, the coffee is evil. No. Maybe it's just how you're using it. And maybe, you know, you're using it in the wrong environment. Because how do they use coffee in Ethiopia? They make ceremonies. They come together and then they drink coffee together to them there is no coffee to go. Like, they don't understand why I would stand here and drink 4 espresso, talk, work, and they wouldn't understand that. And to me it's just habit. It's just habit, and I just do it. And for them it's something social, coming together and having a ceremony. And that's how psychedelics actually should be used, unless shamans do it alone. So that just depends on you. Some people need this coming together. So I can say, of course, yeah, people doing ayahuasca, sometimes they do it, they just use it like a party drug. But what if that's just, how they are? Not, I don't mean like, what if they just are a party or something? No. What I say is, maybe not everybody has the potential to be a shaman and to do these things on their own. So they still get some kind of healing out of it, right? So they just need it. So it's always easy to look at them and say, well, they're kind of weak. No, but because they just need the group. But you also need people to lead the group. And so if you feel called to do that, well, then you have to really work on yourself. Because otherwise you're going to get F'd in the A or F'd in the B. Okay, I just did that. Somewhat sloppy, but also not. I also had really weird dreams tonight again. And that's also, you dream much better in a clean room. It's different. Like, every time I have like really bad dreams is when I sleep in dirty places. And the worst was when I was in Amsterdam and my friend left. I still somehow consider him my friend. That's crazy, isn't it? I still consider him my friend. Because he does something, right? And he even sacrifices a friendship over it to reach his goal. And it's hard to say, I don't really know what his goal then is. But I don't care. He is raising awareness. And like, I have seen my demon now. Fucking hell. Like, oh man, that's a scary one. Yeah, it's a scary one. It's really scary, but that's okay, right? Yeah, it's okay. It's really, really, really okay. Only I needed to learn to deal with it. Because it scares other people, of course, as well. It scares other people. Do you want that? Right? Do you want to be the demon? Or do you want to learn how to be an angel more? So that's just... That's just the question you have to answer yourself. Do you want to be the demon? Or do you want to be an angel? Yeah? And yeah, I look at my demon. I learn to be okay with And then somehow I manage. I learn to manage myself. Whoa, how is that connected in any way? I don't know, I'm just gonna go nuts on it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Just see where you're going with it. Just see where you're going with it. Please tell me, where have I gone insane? Well, I haven't, yes you have. No, I haven't, yes you have, my dear. You have gone insane. You have gone insane, my dear. Yes, insanity. Hidden. See, now it's like goes through with me. And you look at the world, and the world is looking back at you. And you drink too much coffee, that's okay, is it not? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? Come on, take a look. Take a look at the afterlife. Take a look at the afterlife. And be okay. Just be okay. Be okay to be as lovely as you can be. Yeah. As lovely as you can be. Just be okay to be. So, talking about paths, right? So, my concern is children, yeah? So, my job, Love Our Children Foundation, right? So, that's the reality that I'm trying to create. And it's a tough one. To me, it's a tough one, of course. First of all, losing my fear of children and such. And now, like, how do I learn to deal with it? Well, by dealing with it, of course. Like, it's my job, I have to somehow manage. I have to somehow manage to deal with it. And I know it's my job, yeah? I know it is my job. And so I sometimes get presented with sort of ideas, maybe. Like, oh, there's a project in Uganda and it deals with children. Okay. And then you think, oh, maybe that's for me, right? Maybe that's for me. Well, how do you know, right? I mean, how do you know? How do you know what for you? What is for you? Well, I don't. But my feeling does. And for example, now I have the job to finish these videos. 177. And then my mom tells me about this woman that sometimes comes into her shop where she's working, and that she tells me about, yeah, here there is, always this woman. And, she works in Uganda with children. And then suddenly there's this voice in me like, that could be something for you. Well, no. And why? Well, because I have my job already. First of all, I'm an author. I write books. I create content on my own way. And now I feel like life is dragging me into some kind of direction again. Only, that's not me, is it? So I have to make sure that I don't allow this to happen. By making a decision. And by also looking at, right, what is my mission? What is my mission? Children, but not the way other people do it. I want to be my own boss. And therefore, yes, I could go to a project and now ask them if they have work for me. But you see, I already have work. And that's what I have now, I seem to have understood. That I already have work. I already have a job. And therefore, I just have to say now, no. And that's just what I have to continue to do. Until I am where I want to be. And of course, it's hard, right? It's hard. I mean, you can say that to yourself. It's hard, it's fucking hard. And sometimes I hate it. Like, what do you hate? Sometimes I can say, I hate life. Sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes you just hate life. Sometimes it's just hard, and it is hard. And it's going to continue to be hard. It is. Going to miss people. You're going to wish you could do something else. You wish you could just relax. Like today, I could have used that opportunity and just said, fuck it. No, I'm done with that shit. I'm just gonna relax now. Well, then what? And then what? And then what? And then what? Now you're just gonna relax? Uh-huh. And then? Like, right, whatever happened between that friend of mine and myself, whatever happened between us, he knew this. He knew it. Like, what did he know? The secret. The secret. You just have to work. And he said sometimes, he said, you know, I don't feel like doing this always. I don't feel like doing this. But he knew he had to. He knew he had to. And therefore he did. And therefore he did. Because he knew he had to. You see that kind of determination. You know, a job has been given to you, and you do it, although you actually would rather not. And it's a tough one, but you know, nobody's forcing you to do it. Nobody's forcing you to do it. You do it because you choose to. And that's important, that it's your choice. And now let's read the poem of today. Oh, you know, I always release them at 11:11. So there's also a chat. Because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. So I say, if people want to have a look, you can find the link on my website. And now today's is, damned be those cowards. The rain is cold. I stayed at home. Because I like poems, and if anybody would want to, he could reply to it, of course. So that's just an invitation, not forcing anyone to do that. And do you know why I just thought of that? A car drove past, and the sun reflected from the window, and it flashed into my eye. And I looked at the time, because then suddenly I had the feeling, you know, there was a message. So I looked at the time and I realized, oh, it's past 11:11 already. So this is basically done. Not quite. Now I have to fill everything that's left with black. And right. So let's see. This is going to create, because somehow I wanted this already. I wanted all the lines to be like really black. And that's why I worked on it somehow. And you see, that's once more where I cannot tell you why. It's just my feeling saying to me, do that, and I obey. And so my days continue to create themselves, right? That's just how it is. Like, I allow my feeling to point me in the right direction, and I learn from my mistakes. And that's why sometimes, somebody said to me once, "You think you can make mistakes, right?" Yeah, I think so. But also I have to learn from them. And some people, they start to be afraid of making mistakes, and that's what his take was, of course. And that's what, you were probably being taught in school, that you're not allowed to make mistakes. Then you become very fixed in the way you do things. And I just happen to challenge this belief system, this system of belief, you could call it. And I say, I make mistakes. And maybe somebody will sue me one day. Well, sue me, right? That's just in that episode where Rick is challenging the devil. It's one of the best ones, where they're both standing there like, ah! Both like laughing, trying to be more evil than the other one. And then he actually gets the devil to, attempt to commit suicide. And that's just, if you manage to drive the devil insane, then, you've done it, right? That's what you want to do. You want to show him, like, go fuck yourself, because I actually don't give a shit anymore. And that's why this mentality is, of course, somewhat liberating, but also, it can become quite unhealthy. So, in a way, you should still give a shit, because, just realize there's people with feelings, outside of what you perceive as yourself. So, right, if I ignore my dad, it will kind of hurt him, and I may want to create that effect. But also, to just be aware he's still a being with feelings, Yes, he has his own, demons, and he may not be dealing with them the way I do, but still, there is somebody with feelings, and I need to acknowledge that. Because if I don't, then what does it make me? It just makes me a demon, and then what I hate in others is actually what I hate in myself. And that's then the interesting part, where you have to learn to accept, first of all, your demon, but then also the demon of others. And that then is where you have the room to grow. And one of my friends said it once, he is always kind of accepting the demons of other people, but if he shows his demonic side, they always push him away. Right, and that's actually, hey, I like what has happened. I didn't like it at first, but now I'm really, really surprised. And let's see what happens with this now. Because I have no idea. And today, actually quite funny, because I just climbed out of my window onto this thing, which is in front of it at the moment. In front of it. So, to me it's also not that important. Right, it's just important that it covers it. I can say layer and then layer to image size, so that it's the same size. And now, we just see what comes out of it. You know that already. Just to have, it might be that I actually, it might be that I Okay. Let's just see what happens with this, because it's important. I think I actually already know that this has to be above it. It's just what I know. Because what does it make, right? So I like this effect, the darken only, but what I don't like is that this part is missing. So I like that it goes somehow in the background. So now it's Luma darken only. And that's interesting because this is the sunset. Yeah? So this would be like a combined effect. Soft light. Don't like that too much. See, I think this is going to be a really hard one. But now you could say, of course, well, you've chosen now to do this, so you have to do it. But don't have to do anything. That's always important to remember. Plus, right, it's still what you want to make out of it. And therefore, you just try things you haven't tried before. I mean, maybe far. What the fuck? I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? So never be afraid to just test stuff. So now, of course, now this is what's underlying, right? So of course you can take that for yourself, right? Yeah, you have this pretty bird, but you also have all the other shit underneath it. Oh, come on, I mean, this is heading in a direction that I could accept. Lighten only. So yeah, I don't want it too dark. Like this time I want the bird to stick out a bit. I already have a feeling in which direction this is going. Like, in terms of like, what's the choice in the end, right? What's the choice? So now you could say, of course, how would I manage to get the original effect over that? So in a way then, what, I have to do that again? Oh shit. Huh? This is basically it already. So all I have to do is no. So what do you do then? You choose first like that, and then you say, oh fucking hell, that's not how it is supposed to be. Select invert. So now what do you want? It's actually this thing, right? Let me get that away. Now you just see it's going to happen. Can say also, hey, that's not what I wanted. Of course. I think. See, this is white now. Transparency, add alpha channel. Oh, that's what I was missing all the time. Shit. So if you don't get the transparency, you have to say delete alpha channel. Now yeah, like, is this what I wanted to create? Hard to say, isn't it? Okay. See, I'm kind of... Right, so now you're creating something here. Now, of course, always remember, you can just take that up. So now all I want to do is see what happens to that image. So what's the difference? Right, there's just no difference. Of course, what you can also do is say, first of all, of course, I could leave it like this. You could also say, let's see what this gets me. Because usually I don't work with stuff like this. But there may be an effect which just brings it out in a different kind of way. Because something I like about it, I just have to. So you see, it's just weird to sometimes, because do you know what this looks like? It looks like one of these images, colors. See. It's not really there yet. Okay. Kind of interesting because I don't really know what this is. Like, where are we going with this? So of course you can always say Because I'm starting to like this a bit better. This effect I quite like. And this is once more where, you know, it's about letting go also of the choice. Because if I try to say only this is what I like and this is what I don't like, I forget maybe that most of my work just happened. For instance, somehow I could see this effect, right? So I want this to be so first of all, increase the contrast, lower the contrast, increase the contrast. See, I don't have to understand it, and I don't. You know, it would be weird for me to claim that I understand anything that's going on here. Right, so you could say, of course, why even try? I know already this I don't like. This I don't like. I could go a bit lower with this. I don't like that also. I don't know why I have 44 in my head. Okay, that's 44. Let's just see. Colors, invert. Colors, invert. Colors. Saturation. Sometimes it's also just important, like, to see just different levels, right? What happens if I take that out? What is if saturation is 0? What happens if saturation is like a bit lower? What happens if it's like all the way on top? It does change the entire image. And that's why, right, sometimes you just keep applying changes, and then you just check, like, what is it doing? What am I creating here? It's not really my job to know everything. You do see how this is creating change here. So lightness, wow, man. So chroma at 0, at 100. Somehow this brings out the original colors a bit more. Now you go to. Sometimes I feel some kind of resistance. So what does it really do, huh? Doing all kinds of stuff. Now what happens if I take out this? You see how this is applying a lot of change up there because of something I did earlier. Right? So, like this line, maybe I don't like it as much. I leave it in. Colors, shadows and highlights, highlights, highlight colors. Okay. You see what it does, right? It just brings it out a bit more. Okay. And that's then of course also your choice still. Like how much do you want the effect? Okay. See, what does this even do? See, now this does nothing. If I say 2, 3, 4, so it says it reduces the amount of colors. Six. 9. 11. I think this is basically done. And this is just one more time showing you, you think I'm doing this? Think again. You think that this was, I mean, you can argue now, of course, whether you like this or not, but just in general, it's not really me doing anything. And right now I'm doubting whether whatever I did here is good in general, but that's why I want to keep fiddling with it. I also realized that, for instance, these colors here, they stick out the most. There's something, I don't know, exposure, that's it. See, this makes it, and that's what I don't like. See, sometimes it's best to just call it a day and say, you know, it's hard, but that's just the image now. Colorful bird of prey. And sometimes we fall prey to something. And like this self-doubt, you know, I don't know what people see in this, but at one point also it's accepting that the job is done. Goodbye. You meet that and you say goodbye. And this also won't go on. Lisa keeps the and so you can say, of course, yeah, it's just something unique again. But somehow I like it as much as I dislike it. And now I know something is wrong within me because now I don't like that one as much also. So, right? So that's paying attention to these things. You know, it's not the image that I dislike, it's something in myself. Because this one, I don't feel happiness right now in general. So what do I have to do? I just have to go outside. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I say thank you for watching this. Shit, this was almost 2 hours. That's insane. Okay. No wonder that I'm a bit... First of all, populate my room with stuff again and say cheerio.